Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. With the Toronto Ultras Major 3 not too far around the corner, some further details on this tournament have been confirmed. But the OpTic guys think that the homecoming they're going to get to this tournament might well be similar to what they had in Texas not too long ago, with Dashi saying he's got 25 to 30 people coming along and Illy bringing almost 70. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'll greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Great old team here, Zuma says. This is the FaZe clan team, of course, from back in the day. Zuma, Enable, Attach, and Clayster. Great success at the end of Advanced Warfare. Not so much, unfortunately, in Black Ops 3, the start of Infinite Warfare. They go their separate ways. But, you know, it's always good to see some throwback stuff like this on the timeline, I tend to feel. This also from the Call of Duty League. This kind of a CDLR, I think they're calling it. The CDL, is it Rebirth? It's called Resurgence Rebirth Island. I don't know. There's something like this going on. There's effectively, like, this weekend is the CDL's Warzone type tournament thing, where, unfortunately, I think I actually saw an interesting post on Reddit. Only 4 of the 12 CDL teams have any of their actual CDL pros playing on the Warzone roster, which is like, okay, it kind of ruins the purpose in a way. It kind of makes sense, right, that even a guy like Methodz, I think, is playing for the Boston team. There was some talk about the fact that if you're a Twitch partner, you're not allowed to stream it, I guess, because there's kind of a YouTube, like, broadcast type thing going on here, right? So that's kind of unfortunate, I suppose, and maybe they could have done a better way to do this, right? And we saw a lot of people saying the last few days, maybe they just shouldn't have gone down this route and should have done something better with the time that they could have allocated towards, let's just say, another major cycle or something along those lines. But there was some clips coming up. This I thought was a pretty nice one here from Suprevan, 1v3ing Apathy, Slacked and Blast. I'm pretty sure there's like a group play situation going on right now, whereas then the best teams from each group go on to basically like a playoff situation, I think on this Sunday. So this goes on for a few days, and then on Sunday there's going to be a champion or something. But you know, even though the teams are involved and there's some other guys that kind of qualified through opens, it doesn't necessarily mean that the actual team that wins is going to be the team of like starting players. I'm pretty sure on the London side they have Afro, Gizmo, Nasty, and Jukies. So they have like 3/4 at least of their starting team. But still, most of the organizations haven't got any of their pro players on there. So kind of defeats the purpose, in my opinion, of having like a CDL event that isn't really a CDL event that no one really seems to care all that much about, to be honest. Of course, the trials that have been going on right now, Arcitys says, yes, my spot is on trial. Obviously a joke, but I thought it was kind of funny that only these 3 guys are up here. And Arcitys wasn't on the picture at this point. But of course, it does feel like it's been quite some time since the last event that we had. And as Attach says, which I thought was quite interesting, really, this season it feels like we've played the least con out of any other season. Only have 5 total events, 5 group play matches in between each major, which we had 1 or 2 more events. That's the kind of frustrating thing here. Like this season, in theory, there is kind of more going on, because at least this season, the Kickoff Classic was a proper event, effectively, a championship kind of thing, because last year it was just online group play matches, effectively, or not even group play. They didn't mean anything, right? They were online, basically, practice games that weren't even part of a tournament, so that was a good step in the right direction. This year, unfortunately, 4 major cycles instead of 5. That is a step back, but we were hoping that, okay, this kind of Pro-Am Classic in the middle of the season would also feel like another event, but just the way it's turned out isn't really the case, to be honest. And the pros have had basically like a month off between Major 2 and Major 3 that they really apparently didn't really ask for, right? So that's the thing. Attach is saying, like, it's kind of frustrating because, let's say, even back in the Black Ops 3 days, Black Ops 3 to me was probably the most underutilized year of competitive, because there were so few events compared to how good the actual game was. But at least then there was like a really consistent online pro league. There was online games, like many online games that teams would play every single week, so at least they had plenty of Call of Duty to play. Whereas now it seems like it's almost gone backwards from where we were last year in terms of the amount of COD that's on for some of these guys. Not that many matches for the qualifiers, not all that many majors, and of course, yeah, we've got 4 majors plus champs plus the Kickoff Classic plus the Pro-Am Classic. Like that's a fair few events, but some of those events aren't done anywhere near as well as they could have been done. We talked about the fact that it's only single elim and stuff for the Pro-Am, and of course the Kickoff was as well not too long ago. Hopefully that changes round. But again, lots of frustration really from the pros about the way this season has been formatted, right? And that's the thing, there's this kind of Warzone event going on, and Attach is saying, look, why do we have this, right? And we even delayed the All-Star event, whereas we could have just had another entire major cycle. But that point has definitely been raised at this point. This also from Kevy's skills, right? And well, as he says, one day there was a CDL meeting, they decided to start the season like a month after the game release, then have another month's break after Major 2, and another month break after Major 3. We saw yesterday that more than likely the month break after Major 3 has been reduced quite considerably to either 1 or 2 weeks, just because I'm pretty sure they should be bringing back the online qualifiers there to make way for the kind of the major coming a little bit earlier, and also the Boston Challengers event that is going down. But as TJ says, that month break after Major 3 is unacceptable, so maybe they're turning things around. The mid-season break on paper sounds okay, but just like the way it's been executed definitely leaves something to be desired, let's just say. And this also from TJ yesterday, yeah man, shout out Warzone, don't mind the Warzone thing, but just give us another major effectively, right? Just please do something else, because last year to go from 5 majors to 4 seems like a step back. And obviously last year Minnesota and Detach won stage Stage 5 major, right? So I guess they were hoping that there'd be another Stage 5 major this year to do that exactly again. This then from the Toronto Ultra, so confirming after the Prime Classic, Major 3 is going to be in Toronto. Lots of excitement actually about this one. This is, I think they're doing a really good job of this actually, because yes, they're also doing a Challenges event alongside it. Thought the kind of graphics in the video here was very good indeed. So they've got first access tickets. It's going to be June 2nd through to the 5th, and there's been plenty of talk, especially from the OpTic guys, given their kind of history with Canada, as to exactly, well, what kind of home crowd support they might get at this event compared to what they had, for example, in Minnesota most recently, when the Minnesota home crowds was very favorable for Minnesota, as you would hope and expect it would be. But maybe Toronto could be a slightly different story for the OpTic guys. This also, just to look at the venue real quick, this is it hosting, I guess, like a graduation type thing. They also host like a basketball events and stuff. I think there was like some other images in the reply here of them hosting, you know, basketball and stuff like this. So this is pretty much what the venue looks like. It looks like a really cool one, to be honest, and they could probably set it up something like this for the CDL main stage and, you know, type of crowd, all this type of good stuff. Could be kind of cool. This also, I thought they were doing good on the ticket options front, because there's kind of 3 different elements here. There's the general admission, Challengers, Bell Fan Zone. Actually, I thought this is pretty good pricing, really. $225 for a 4-day pass with premium seats, early access, players side, like, you know, all this type of stuff in the kind of the Bell Fiber Fan Zone or whatever. And then general admission for a 4-day weekend pass just for the, you know, $100 for the 4th. Thought that's pretty good, to be honest. So fair play to Toronto. I think they're doing it right on this front. Looking forward to this event most certainly. But well, seemingly as are the OpTic guys. A few days ago, Hex had a new vlog that came out, and he was kind of touring around with Scump and doing a few things. We'll talk about Scump here a little bit more actually in a second. But he was speaking to Dashi about you know, how many people he's bringing along to Toronto, right? Because of course, Illy and Dashi, both Canadian. Dashi, I'm definitely Dashi's from Toronto and around the area. Not sure if Illy is as well, but maybe he is, because he's bringing a fair few people along as well. So he kind of said to Dashi, like, oh yeah, hey, are you bringing like 70 people along? That's what Formal said. And Dashi was like, no, I'm only bringing like 25 to 30 of the boys and the family and stuff like this, with all the OpTic merch and the support and stuff like this. And then Hex was like, oh yeah, actually that was Illy who's bringing like 70 along. Honestly, like Indian families go crazy. So I'll share the clip.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? I
mean, what's up?
All right, where'd you go? How'd it go?
I went back home to Canada, visit the fam, see the motherland real quick, and then, you know, I'm just scoping Toronto, you know. I was like,
You getting prepared for the show?
I'm getting prepared, you know, and then I was like, all right, so I've got my fam coming through, got a lot of my boys coming, so I got to make sure I come different, you know.
Yeah, so what does that mean? You're getting a haircut soon? You're getting a haircut right before? You're getting all prepped up?
I might not get a haircut, you know. I might go there. Actually, no, I'm just joking. That's it's a must haircut event.
Yo, Formal was saying that you have close to 70 people going?
70?
Oh, no, that's Illy. Illy is getting... Illy said he's got
I got like 25, 30. So, like, a lot of my fam members are going, then a decent amount of my friends are going.
Okay, cool. And they all have OpTic stuff that they bought, right?
Absolutely,
Supporting
absolutely.
you. So, if not, they better be wearing green as we get there. Now, here's my thought. We go, and then you give us a tour of the hometown.
Oh yeah, no. I already have it planned out.
Yeah?
Because me and Ray were talking, we're like, we got to show them around. So we're gonna hit up Beaver Tails, right?
Okay.
And tell all my Canadians, they know that.
You're well rested. You guys have been practicing. Everything's all good?
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
So of course there were many factors as to why the results at Major 2 were somewhat different to what we've seen before. FaZe still made the grand finals, but OpTic having won the first Major, they come top 6. There was talk about some of the changes to the spawns before the event, the fact that like behind the scenes it wasn't too ideal in terms of, well, sorting out the vetoes, and the practice rooms weren't exactly perfect, with other teams being able to hear what you were talking about. Of course the Vault coming into the Metro as well affected things, but also the crowd was seemingly a factor that weekend, right? Of course, well, it was kind of surprising to see when OpTic went on the main stage, especially against Minnesota in that series, that the Minnesota crowd, if anything, were kind of drowning out the OpTic crowd, which is a very rare to see at any event in Call of Duty history. So credit to Minnesota for that one, but of course we'd imagine Toronto is going to be a rather different story. Rambo, Karma, of course, many-time world champion, one of which was for OpTic, Dashi, Illy as well, all from Canada. You'd imagine the support there's going to be pretty extreme. And to be honest, when you look at the first Major in Texas, it did seem like the crowd was a deciding factor in that series. Not necessarily a deciding factor, but it was at least a factor that pushed them in the right direction. A fifth man on the team, if you will. And if you've been to one of these events, you'll kind of know that when the crowd gets behind a team like that, it definitely does have an impact, even in Call of Duty it can. So I think it's probably a beneficial factor for the OpTic guys. They're getting ready to go, no doubt about it. This also just wanted to mention real quick from Scump though, because there was a plenty of talk actually from Scump after, well, before the second Major, that after the second Major concluded, he was going to get back on the stream grind. I'm sure a lot of you guys have really kind of been wondering the last few days, where are Scump's streams right? And he actually said this back on the 28th of March. Streams are at 10,000% coming back after the Major. Got some exciting things in the works. You guys will find out soon enough. So I'm pretty sure he hasn't streamed streamed since then, though, unfortunately. He's taking a bit of a break right now. Makes sense. Recharge, recuperate a little bit. Of course, look, they're still practicing, going hard every single day. Methodz actually had a few words kind of a Scump as well, because people were saying, look, Scump, he's got to get back on the grind. What's he doing? Why is he being so lazy and stuff like this? And Methodz is like, look, this guy's been doing it for so many years. When you've done this for like a decade, scrimming day in, day out, also like streaming for so many hours, it does take its toll on you. And it makes sense for him to take some time off at this point so that he can fully dial in for champs in the rest of the year.
I'm gonna go top P4. Listen, guys, I'm gonna get on Seth's case, man. Don't you worry. But you guys, listen. You guys gotta realize, man. I'll defend that moron, dude. He's been doing it for 10 years. It really does take a toll on you. Especially competing full-time, scrimming, and then going live later. It really is a lot. I know it may not seem like it because, I mean, I do it pretty consistently, but I also haven't been doing it for 10 years consistently. So listen, man, you gotta cut the guy some slack. It's insane how long he's been doing it for.
So I thought those were some nice words from Methodz, really, and it totally makes sense, because streaming, like, look, I'm glad I'm not a streamer, let's just say that, because I can't imagine having to do so many hours and stuff. Like, I imagine it really takes a toll on your mental, just at streaming all these hours, feeling like if you take, it's good that Scump actually has the ability to, like, take the time off and separate himself, because I feel like a lot of streamers get kind of trapped in this mode of, well, if I don't turn on the stream, I'm losing out on all this revenue I could have, because people aren't going to sub if I'm offline, and all this type of stuff. Of course, Scump doesn't necessarily need that money, which is good, but I do think that the whole, like, mental health toll of streaming so many hours a day is probably something which is talked about less than it should be, to be honest. Some, you know, good words for Methodz, I thought, and I'm sure Scump will be back in business sooner rather than later. Just to mention this real quick, because earlier today we did touch on the GAs regarding the trophy system, whether that will come through. Some words actually from GodRx, because why is the Ratt still in? He says, of course, we talked not too long ago now about Octane, reckon that the Ratt actually is the most OP gun in the game, even more so than the Volk, which has now seemingly been G8. And further replies actually here from Trey, though, Zero, because he says, look, you want me to run an auto and a knife against the MP40, or maybe Simp says, let's use the 1911, I'm down. So I'm not really sure whether the 1911 is better or worse than the Ratt. Maybe like, let's say last year in Cold War, the 1911 was crazy good up close, but it had quite a lot of recoil for longer range combat, really. It wasn't really usable outside of a medium, like short to medium range. But that's kind of been the thought from Zero, that, and some of the other assault rifle players, that yes, the MP40 is so good that like, I need something against the MP40 close range, because the auto doesn't have many bullets in it. If you run out of bullets, 25 bullets in the mag only, you might need to pull out the Ratt in your back pocket, and it does give you a great chance against the MP40 at close ranges. But again, some have said the Ratt's way too strong. Zero says, look, probably it should still be in anyway, just because the auto is at a disadvantage to the MP40, which some might well dispute. But then you've also got to consider sniper rifles, and like, if the Ratt is gone, then maybe the 1911 is the sniper rifle pistol. Does that make the sniper rifle more or less viable? It's something that could most certainly be discussed. And just to bring this back as well, because Crowder put it on the timeline, this is well, from back in, I think this is Anaheim, right, 2019, which well, here's Zeddy, as you can see, and the 1v2 that comes in here from Ricky. Basically, well, this situation was kind of crazy, actually, because Luminosity, basically, Gunless had just refused. I think there was some drama about Gunless. He'd gone to like an EDM concert, refused to kind of scrim with the team, didn't turn up in time. So anyway, Gunless gets benched from Luminosity. Ricky, as the coach, comes into the lineup and finds himself game 5, round 11 in an elimination game up against Methodz UYU, and clutches this crazy 1 versus 2, and you know, Royalty gets absolutely smoked, and Methodz is absolutely mind blown. But very much intrigued to get your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on our like button, tell us your YouTube God, this is a good video, and as like you should see it as well, and upgrow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.
I remember this.
Gotta go. There's one.
1v1! Oh, wait.
Heal up.
1v1!
Yo, look at City's face. Bro. Look at City's face. Oh, man, bro. City out of all people. Right here. Like, bro, dude, City's face. Oh, poor Zin, dude.